Woo! It is fantasy football time. We got the 10th pick out of 10 people. This is a $50 Yahoo public league. So who are we looking at in this range here? So we're not going to get any of these top people. So we're in this area of St. Brown. Called him Aquarius St. Brown the other day. It was Monroe St. Brown. Jonathan Taylor, AJ Brown. It's so hard with Puka. He's so there, but we're not gonna know how it's gonna look when he and Cooper are both like healthy in there. And is there gonna be enough to go around, especially with Kyron? Speaking of Kyron, I love Kyron Williams. He won me a bunch of championships last year. Anyway, here we go. Got the results page over here. We can kind of see what happened. So McCaffrey won. CD number 2, of course. I've seen CD not go number 2 in some other drafts, and it kind of surprised me. Those are my number 2 overall this year. Tyreek Hill 3, interesting. So in my $300 league that's more competitive, I have the 5th pick. So if it went like this, it would be so tough on who to take. I'd probably reach for Taylor. Bijan has like this high upside, but it's tough. He's just not established, and you relying on other people to figure that out. Like he had the same upside last year, and then that's the kind of stuff that just happens when you go purely on upside this early in the draft. Like you want to take a sure thing. All right, Justin Jefferson. So it's getting close to us. This guy's got a tough spot at 8. Apparently, if I was him, I would take Jonathan Taylor. I wouldn't even think about it. But there goes St. Brown. So if somebody takes AJ Brown, we can get the boy. Otherwise, that Saquon Kyron combo is not looking too shabby to me. Jonathan Taylor, of course. So, all right, I'm gonna mark them in case I get disconnected or something. But mark them in the queue. Just take a quick look, make sure we're not missing anything. I mean, yeah, there's obviously lots of other great guys, but these are guys who are going to be like focal points of their offenses on like really good teams, really good offenses, really good coaching staffs. Derrick Henry, for me, is the other consideration here. Gibbs just this high, he shares with David Montgomery. Like a lot has to go right for Gibbs to be like worth this average draft position. I mean, like he showed a lot of promise, but I mean that's a lot to ask. So one thing in this spot, I'm for sure gonna take Kyron Williams. One thing in this spot, a lot of people do when they have these back-to-back takes like we do, is they'll just instantly take somebody and then they'll spend the rest of the time. Like you have an advantage of getting 2 full minutes. Like even if you know who you're gonna take the first time, like if there's a debate on the second time, run your clock down. I see so many people just rush and take that first one. So it's like now we can think about whether we want Saquon or Henry. I think Derrick Henry has the most upside. I think Saquon is safer. And in these early rounds, I tend to lean towards safety. Like the difference in upside isn't going to be like too crazy. So yeah, we're going to take those two and be pretty happy about it. So let's look at on the way back. It kind of shows you right here that your next turn in the middle shows you where. So we're going to be in that range next time. I love Metcalf as like an athlete. I like DJ Moore. I really don't like taking quarterbacks this early, but if we were, Josh Allen would be the guy, even though he just lost Diggs. Let's go back and see what's happening. So Henry, there goes Gibbs, AJ Brown. So that guy starts with Chase and Brown. That's not too shabby. So guys I would like to get, big fan of Evans, which, these guys are going to be there, but just in case, you never know. So Pacheco, Etienne, Ayuk. Way too early to take a tight end in these rounds, especially in a 10-man league. There goes Pacheco, Puka, Marvin Harrison Jr. Man, people are all aboard that guy. I mean, like, I get it. Like, pedigree's a big thing. Like, situation's a big thing. Kelsey goes. So that guy's got 3 running backs. So McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, and ETN. It's so important to have good running backs. There's in 3 wide receiver leagues, and can be argued because you can start 4 wide receivers every week, that having quality wide receivers, plus when you factor in injuries and bye weeks, that it's better to be deep at that position. But here, like, people are always going to, even you can always get a wide receiver. Like, people are going to be willing to trade wide receivers for running backs. So I want to load up on that. So Mahomes, the number 1 quarterback on, I didn't even see that. That's interesting. So we got a nice string of receivers of Adams, Evans, Olave, Collins. We're coming up here pretty quick. Taking Ayuk or Debo is something I would love to do there. It might be Ayuk and then him, and then Ayuk or Debo, and then DJ Moore I'm kind of looking at. Kupp is just so scary. He had that one like amazing year and has that rapport with Stafford, but it's just it's the same argument with Puka. It's like, we don't know how it's going to look when they're both there. Dude took Debo over. I mean, I'm saying that's a great pick. So first of all, for those of you who maybe watch this who don't know, I'm a hardcore Niners fan, so I'm always going to be biased when talking about the Niners. But that's a great pick. So this is a perfect example. So I'm like 99% sure I want to take Ayuk, but the other one is unclear. So I'm not going to take him quite yet. I'm going to use this free time I have to kind of debate and talk it out. So Laporta is the number 1 tight end. So I'm going over the options last year. So, but there's other guys I like that I can get a lot later. Like, I really like Pitts this year. Kirk Cousins likes to throw to his tight ends. Their offense seems to be on the up. Could take Metcalf. Could take DJ Moore, although you don't know how Caleb's going to be. I mean, they clearly like him. All that's happened there. Could take Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. There's other quarterbacks I like later. So, okay. So, for sure going to take Ayuk. So, it's between... I'm leaning DJ Moore. Could take Mixon. I also really like... I don't think he's going to fall to me, but I really like James Cook there for Buffalo. That could be the pick, actually, above all these other guys. So who am I going to take at wide receiver in the next... if I don't take him? Yeah, I think I got to have at least one sick wide receiver. So Pittman does great in fantasy. Yeah, I think DJ Moore is going to be the pick. So, looking at our team so far, it's pretty nasty, dude. It's a great start right there. We got our core position players: Ayuk, DJ Moore, all great production guys, great situations. The only real question is DJ Moore going to have the same type of rapport with Caleb Williams? Is he going to struggle as a rookie? I mean, you want to believe in all the stuff you hear. You know, he's showing great leadership. He's telling everybody to pick up trash, and he's leading all these men. You know, it's like, but at the end of the day, that only means so much in fantasy football. Like, you still got to produce on the field, and not everybody's CJ Stroud. You know, he's not the first. Stroud, there's precedent for this before. You know, Andy Dalton came in and was immediately sick as a rookie. I mean, it happens. I like it. I like DJ Moore. I liked him a lot. He was great with Fields, and Fields is not a passing phenom. So there goes all the guys that are kind of like there in that ranking, but have a lot of. We're starting to get into the guys who have like, they're cool, but they have questions territory. All the like slam dunk picks are kind of gone. So in our next area, it's way too early, but I would love to get James Cook. Quarterbacks are starting to run off. So Rashad White, Jalen Hurts, and Jordan Love. Yeah, those are great pickups. Now we're getting to the point where you can start to look at quarterbacks. There's a lot of other guys I'd be happy getting, though. Like, you can get Dak late. You can get other guys a bit later. Stroud is still there. Dak might be the target on the next go around if somebody doesn't get there. Might have to get the tight end and quarterback out of the way. So George Kittle, Amari Cooper. So that guy with the number 1 pick, no receivers so far. McCaffrey, Jacobs, ETN, and then Love and Kittle. He's just hoping he can find guys late. Mark Andrews just went. It's a dog in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that. This mic is pretty loud, but he's giving his opinions on who we should take. I mean, there was almost no chance James Cook fell, but it would have been super sweet. Big on that guy this year. Maybe I should have taken him over DJ Moore, but Anthony Richardson, man, the preseason hype train. I saw some rankings where he was like ranked above Stroud, and he does now go above Stroud. So I mean, holy moly, people love their upside, even with guys who aren't super established. But I mean, no question, the dude's got talent. Zamir White is supposed to be the guy in Vegas. There goes Diggs. Alvin Kamara. All right, so Pittman's there. I mean, Devontae Smith, Trey McBride. That's an interesting one above Montgomery. So we got Stroud, Aaron Jones, Kyler Murray, Kenneth Walker. There's a lot to think about here. Dak Prescott. Can we go on tight end one last time? Are all those guys going to go? Probably. They're probably going to go. Trey McBride really came on strong. Oh, man. This is tough. All right. We're going... And then Stroud, Kyler. The Cowboys scare me, man. They scare me. Zeke is their number 1 running back. I mean, CeeDee's going to be sick, but I kind of panicked. Kincaid is there too. Maybe I could have waited one more on the tight end front. I don't know. It's tough with these late picks because so many people go before you get your next pick, so sometimes you have to reach. Pittman and Devontae Smith, or do I wait on a quarterback? I think I can wait one more on a good quarterback. Maybe. No. All right. So Kyler or Stroud? I like the kid. We went Stroud. Tough pick. I did all this talk about like established guys, and there's always that chance that the league could adjust to him a little bit. But with all the weapons, I don't know. He just feels like the real deal, and this late, 20 names are going to be gone. Like I think somebody's going to take. Well, let's find out. Let's see if somebody takes Kyler and Dak, and then Kincaid, and did Pitts already go? Kincaid already went. James Conner, Aaron Jones, those are the like value guys that could have considered taking. Montgomery, he had like 13 touchdowns last year or something like that, and he's the 6th round pick. So Stroud, Ayuk, DJ Moore, Kyren, Saquon, Trey McBride. Got a nice little mix here. So now we really want to go for value. Now we got our guys. I just don't like loading up on quarterbacks and tight ends. Now we want to really load up on depth and take value, wide receivers and running backs. Najee's an interesting one. He was on such a shitty situation last year. That team just struggled so much offensively. He was splitting with come on, brain, with that guy that I loved last year, Jaylen Warren. Jesus. And he still had over 1,000 yards rushing. So I mean, everybody's kind of like, he had such high expectations coming into his like rookie year and being there with like the Steelers and stuff. Like people are expecting him to be like a first round fantasy quality guy. So like compared to that, he's not lived up to expectations, but I mean, he still performed adequately. So who's going to be in this like next round? It's part of this too, you know, like with this Trey McBride Stroud stuff and not knowing, like that's part of why I'm doing this for these like later ones, is seeing like where these guys go. Like, could I have waited one more cycle to get a quarterback? It looks like I might have been able to wait to get somebody like Prescott. Xavier Worthy just went. So these next picks, so we can get somebody like Mostert. Pitts is there. Yeah, maybe I could have waited one more. Gone with I do like Jalen Warren. I'll add him. Zach Moss is probably who I'm going to target in this next one. He looked great for the Colts at the end of last year. Now he's the guy in Cincinnati. I don't know why he's ranked so low. Some other competition there. I think Xavier Worthy, T. Higgins. Now the dude I guess that's why he waited on getting wide receivers. I mean, if you can get a guy like T. Higgins in the 7th round, that's... Jalen Warren went. That was the guy that I wanted. There goes Pitts, so that would not, and Kyler, so that would not, we would not have gotten him if we waited one more. DeAndre Swift, that's a solid pickup for this draft position. So we're next. So Pickens is a good one. I like his upside and talent in Pittsburgh. Now's the area of the draft where you start drafting upside. Dak is still there, so maybe could have waited one more. Could have gotten somebody like Aaron Jones or like Pittman instead of Stroud. But I mean, you know, it's not the end of the world. Kurt goes, okay, so I think Pickens is probably gonna be I'm leaning towards Pickens and Hollywood Brown. That's another one. He's in Kansas City, and there's so many questions there with wide receivers, a lot of younger guys. Kind of thinking, I'm kind of liking how that looks. Pickens, and from the spot, Pickens and Zach Moss. Yeah, I like that actually. So that's the start of our depth there. We got 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, got our QB, got our tight end. Everybody's in solid situations. So yeah, I mean, Zach Moss is the guy there. Behind him, it's Chase Brown, Travion Williams, Chris Evans. That could end up being a steal for a lot of people. I mean, Zach Moss was one of the best fantasy running backs at the end there last year. Whenever he played, Jonathan Taylor came back and took away his thunder, but when he didn't, like, Zach Moss was like saving people's seasons. Malik Neighbors, the rookie. First defense off the board, my man. All right. San Francisco D. Even in this is, there's always one. There's always one person who just doesn't care and takes people this early. Ferguson, Njoku. I love Njoku, but he was one of the best tight ends last year, but it was when Flacco was there. Stevenson, it's good value this late. Being able to get starting running backs this late is pretty dope. So when it's our turn, we're going to be in this range. So Calvin Ridley, Spears, Hopkins just got hurt. Singletary's technically a starting running back. I mean, Pollard is there. I like Sutton. I do like Sutton. Then we got Gus Edwards, Zeke, Eckler, and Jigba. So there's guys we can kind of gamble on they have questions, but at some point could take Chubb and store him away on IR. That's also something to keep an eye on. We don't know when he's going to be back, but there goes Keenan. There goes Calvin Ridley, Jaden Reed. There's so many. He helped win me a championship last year. There's so many wide receivers there in Green Bay, man. There's Watson, there's Reed, there's Dobbs, there's that other guy that came on late, Wicks, Dontavian Wicks. There's that. So there's it's hard to know exactly who's going to be the guy there. Dak is still there. That's crazy. Guess a lot of people have those questions, so it's good to know for later drafts. I would have no problem having him be the guy. That guy, I just noticed he took the Green Bay D, the 8th round. Wow. There goes Tucker. Justin Tucker off the board. Lock him up. Brandon Aubrey soon following. Are these people auto-drafting? It looks like they're here. No? Those are essentially just like free spots. Free picks, you know, for people to fall to us. It's pretty... That's why you gotta love public leagues, you know? It's pretty nice. Rashee Rice. There goes Dak. So it's getting pretty close to us. Hollywood Brown. I like Sutton, but their quarterback situation is super sus. I don't know. I like Gus, especially with they got a run-first offensive coordinator. Like J.K. Dobbins is there, and like he's always going to be a threat, but just like we all know how that has turned out. I could get him and then take J.K. Dobbins. It's a good situation that I want to be a part of. Godwin just went, okay, so kind of like Hollywood Brown, just as a established veteran in obviously the best situation. Singletary, he is a starting running back still. There's Watson, there's Zeke, who, again, starting running back. There's Gus Edwards, there's Eckler. There's Njigba. There's that McConkey guy. Could take Chubb. All right, so I think I'm almost certainly going to take Gus Edwards. Then the question is... what did Zay Flowers do last year? 850 yards, 5 touchdowns. I think I do like Sutton. He had 10 touchdowns last year. That was with Russ. I like Sutton a lot. I've liked him for a long time. It really sucked when he got injured at the start of what was supposed to be his prime. There's Hollywood Brown. This is a tough one. Watson's another option. It's a crowded area. I'm gonna go Sutton. I like Sutton a lot. 10 touchdowns last year. That's nothing to sneeze at. They're probably gonna suck, so they might be throwing the ball a lot. So, running backs, we definitely want to add that Corum guy to our watch list. The Dobbins. These are guys that we can speculate on late, and that way we know that that's a situation we want to be a part of, but who's going to be the full-fledged guy? Obviously, there's no way to 100% know, but later in the draft when there's no other options, it's better, it's almost certain we're going to drop or lose some of these guys to injuries or drop somebody or whatever. Instead of just taking random flyers on guys, it's better to lock up a certain position on a great team, and just if I can have the running back market cornered for the Chargers, then that's a good situation. So Benson, Spears, and Chubb all. This is the obviously the upside flyer part of the draft. Those are all guys who have potential to be good at some point. Obviously James Conner is the guy in Arizona, but Trey Benson looks good and Conner gets hurt a lot. Tank Dell, Zay Flowers. Nothing wrong with those guys at this point in the draft. The guy who got Chubb there, that is another one I could have taken and just kind of planned to. Actually, I'm kind of regretting it. I kind of wish I would have taken Chubb and just put him on my IR spot and just hold on to him and then you get, a first round talent in the 10th round. I'm kind of regretting my pick. I think Chubb is the pick there, and then you put him on IR, and then you can pick somebody up essentially for free. So a little bit of a misplay there, but this is my first like real draft of the year, so we're getting the kinks out. Yeah, I think I should have taken Chubb over Sutton there. Oh well. You live and you learn. Better to do it in the $50 league than in your $500 league. Had those run of running backs. Now we have a run of wide receivers: Tank Dell, Zay Flowers, Hollywood Brown. So our next, we can still Eckler, Zeke, and Jigba, McConkey, Chase Brown. We could handcuff Zach Moss. Goddard is there as a tight end. Charbonnet, Schultz, Komet, Justin Herbert this late is insane. Keon Coleman, that's supposed to be, quote unquote, the replacement for Stephon Diggs. So, wow, we had a run of players. Holy crap. So, Singletary, Aaron Rodgers, Romeo Doubs, then Baltimore and Dallas, O'Duns, Evan Ingram, Butker, Jonathan Brooks. Just like that, it's pretty close to our pick. Brock Purdy, my man. Tua, man, see, getting Tua this late, that's what I mean. Maybe he's taking Stroud that early, just not. Anyway, moving on. Kind of like I could just take Zeke and Eckler here. Brian Robinson Jr. is also there. Jigba is the most talented. Chase Brown is our handcuff. He had not a lot last year. All right. I think we're gonna this is gonna be our last real value spot. Watson's there also. Damn. All right, so I think I'm for sure going to take Jigba for value. Then Watson last year, he was injured a lot of the year, still had 405. I think we're going to lock up we're going to start with the running backs, and we're going to start that. Make sure that we have whoever the guy for the Rams is. Handcuff Kyron. Start our handcuff situation. Next round back, we can get Dobbins and we could just have the entire city of LA running back situation locked up. It's not that funny, but made me giggle. All right, so Eckler, Watson, Schultz, Brian Robinson, Jaden Daniels. So we got 3 more picks, and at some point we're gonna need a kicker and a defense, but you don't have to draft them. There's going to be injuries and just guys that maybe aren't quite there, and you can always drop somebody and pick them up later and play matchups and stuff like that. There's no unless you get one of those guys that are way gone, Tucker or Butker or something like that. There's just all the other kickers are kind of whatever. Kickers and defenses, if I don't draft an elite one, it's better to just play the matchups. Chase Brown guy took one of my handcuffs. So next time I'm probably going to take Dobbins, and then Keon Coleman is still there. So those are probably the 2 that I'll take in these next ones. I like it though. I like this team. Stroud, Ayuk, Moore, Kyron, Saquon, Trey McBride, Pickens. Then we got Moss, Edwards, Sutton, Jigba, and then we got our guy handcuffed. I like it. So good Lad McConkey. A lot of people like him. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that situation overall. The Harbaugh coach team is going to potentially, most likely, be pretty dope. They have good track records wherever they go. Dude just came in and instantly made Alex Smith a playoff bound star after he was nothing for a while. Nothing but potential. Kansas City D, people are just running out of people who they like at this point. Jacoby Myers. I don't even know if I'm going to draft a defense and a kicker. I might just deal with that later, honestly. Unless you're in like a league where your number of moves are like limited, or like I said, if you're in, usually in most leagues, kickers aren't even gonna go until like this late. All right, so we're gonna handcuff our guy and take Dobbins. And we're gonna take the young phenom. Take Coleman. And then I'll take a look just to make sure. So Cleveland D, I think they just went, so I don't have to worry about them. There's Miami, there's Buffalo, there's Philly. So I mean, so let's see who the week 1 matchups are. So the Saints are playing the Panthers week 1. So that I could take them in the last round. I'll add them. At home too. The Vikings are against the Giants. That's one. The Bengals against the Patriots. Their D, from what I remember, hasn't been amazing. Let's see. Cleveland, Miami, Vidal. So that's the other Chargers guy. He's a 6th rounder, but he has upside. So we don't get the full Chargers backfield, but I like what we got. There goes DeAndre Hopkins. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, but at this late in the draft, it's worth stashing. A couple of tight ends I like for Freiermuth. Caleb Williams goes, interesting. So this last round, the Seahawks are at home against the Broncos. Could take the Seahawks D. So of all these, I think I like the Saints the best. So if there's nobody that I like really want to take, and then I'll just look at kickers. Why not? There's Jake Elliott's still there. You know, can just pick somebody up later. Unless there's somebody there that I like really just can't miss, which it doesn't look like. Yeah, then I'll probably just take the Saints D. Yep. So I think we're gonna end it. We're gonna play the matchups. We're just gonna get the Saints, and that is the draft. So final results. We can take a look at everything. Take a look at our final team. We'll pick up a kicker later. So we got Stroud, Ayuk, DJ Moore, Kyron Williams, Saquon, Trey McBride, Pickens, Saints D, and then Moss, Edwards, Sutton, and Jigba, and then Keon Coleman is a little rookie sleeper guy, and then our handcuffs, Corum and Dobbins. Pretty solid draft overall. I think top to bottom, this is a good team. It's hard to really nail it across the board these days with all the rankings and stuff. But yeah, that was fun. Maybe I'll record some other ones later or something, but this is me. This is me signing off. Peace out.